What if the things you throw away could grow something beautiful? In this video, we're not just talking about recycling. We're creating vibrant garden ideas from trash, real, practical designs you can build, no matter where you live or what you have. This is Verdant Dreams, a space where forgotten things bloom again. Each idea in this video is time-stamped for your convenience, so feel free to skip around or dive deep. And if something here sparks a thought, drop a comment. I'm here, and I read every one. Maybe to you, I'm just another voice behind the screen. But this project means everything to me. Every like, every share, every single subscribe, it keeps this dream alive. Thank you for watching. Thank you for seeing me. Let's begin. In a sleepy village corner of a small English-inspired backyard, the old wooden fence was once just a boundary. Now, it blooms with life. Rows of pastel-painted bottles, soft mint, rose, lilac, and sky, cradle delicate hydroponic flowers that dance gently in the autumn breeze. Each bottle, once trash, now holds a secret joy, a mum here, a marigold there, their roots suspended in water like nature's own chandeliers. The fence becomes a canvas, a celebration of transformation. It's not just upcycling, it's poetry in plastic. The colors of the bottles complement the blooms within. A lavender bottle hosts a blushing pink mum, while a sky blue one cradles golden marigold petals. As sunlight filters through the bottles, a prism of garden magic spills into the yard. Behind this simple design lies purpose. The plants are not only ornamental but also helpful. Marigolds repel pests, asters attract butterflies, and mums offer seasonal charm. The hydroponic system is low maintenance, perfect for those who crave beauty without the fuss of soil. Rainwater from the roof refills the bottles, while tiny LED fairy lights hidden along the fence give it an evening glow. This fence doesn't shout. It whispers wonder. It tells visitors, here, beauty begins with what others throw away. The bright colors delight children, and the elegant harmony soothes the elderly. Neighbors linger a little longer as they pass by, often smiling, often inspired. The bottle blossom fence line is not just a garden edge, it's an invitation. To notice, to repurpose, to bloom, and to believe that even the simplest things, a plastic bottle, a bit of paint, a fence forgotten, can become something worth falling in love with. As you walk into the garden, the pergola greets you not with vines, but with curtains of color, life, and quiet ingenuity. From its weathered beams hang lines of upcycled bottles, each transformed into a living vessel of light and bloom. Like raindrops frozen mid-fall, the painted bottles sway gently in the wind, catching glints of sunlight as if the sky itself lingers to admire them. These are no ordinary garden ornaments. Inside each bottle, hydroponic magic takes place. Golden marigolds spill softly from green necks, Japanese anemone cascade in blush pink elegance, and fragrant herbs like mint and thyme whisper their presence in the breeze. The garden smells alive. The bottles have been lovingly painted, some matte, some glossy, in hues that echo the season: amber, deep teal, creamy lilac. Their arrangement forms a living curtain, shading the patio with style, serenity, and sustainability. It's a botanical dance between shadow and light, wild and designed. Sit beneath this pergola, and time slows. Look up, and you'll find tiny roots curling in the bottles, transparent as dreams. The water sparkles with sunlight, and the plants, free from soil, bloom with unexpected vitality. No clutter, no mess. Just clean, living beauty, suspended mid-air. In the evening, soft lights thread through the pergola, and the bottle garden becomes a glowing veil. A place to sip tea, to read poetry, to dream. The bottles, once discarded, now offer shade and spectacle, function and flair. They filter the sun and elevate the space, not just visually, but emotionally. This is the art of thoughtful living. A DIY creation that brings beauty, purpose, and peaceful rhythm to any backyard. The hanging hydroponic curtains don't just decorate the pergola, they define it. A reminder that the smallest items, when placed with care, can offer the greatest transformation. In the narrow space between a fence and a garden wall, where most would see only a forgotten corner, something magical grows. A patchwork of painted bottles, arranged like living tiles, creates a vertical symphony of greens and florals, a mosaic of life stitched from trash, time, and tenderness. This tiny garden wall of bottled greens thrives without soil, defying its small footprint with abundance. Each bottle, once tossed aside, now cradles a living treasure. Marigolds burn bright with golden edges. Asters peak in purple surprise. Tender lettuce leaves curl and sway in the wind, clean and water-fed, like green lace floating from a frame. There is something deeply human about this arrangement. Its geometry feels intentional, yet its blooms are wild. The pastel-painted bottles are arranged with care, a sky blue row here, a soft coral one there, but the flowers dance freely, spilling from their containers as if eager to escape and greet the sun. The fence becomes a vertical garden, a gallery of growing things. Neighbors stop to ask, "How?" Children count the colors and guess the names. And in the early morning light, dew clings to the plastic and petals alike, making everything shimmer with quiet joy. But beyond the charm lies practicality. This wall feeds the soul and the salad bowl. The hydroponic method keeps pests at bay, and the setup is cheap, cheerful, and achievable for any garden dreamer. Even a space no wider than a bicycle lane can host it. The bottles need no soil, just sunlight, water, and hope. At the bottom of the wall, chrysanthemums bloom in the garden bed, blending seamlessly into the upright design. The wall is not a feature, it is the heart of the garden. A soft defiance against concrete and waste. A living promise that beauty can come from anywhere. And so, the tiniest corner becomes a sanctuary. A proof that even a sliver of space can grow something beautiful, when held in the right hands, and seen with the right eyes. Along the garden path, where stone meets soil, a new kind of border rises. Not from bricks or wood, but from towers of color and quiet innovation. These hydroponic bottle towers, once simple plastic waste, now line the flower beds like cheerful sentinels, painted bright and filled with life. Each tower is a stack of 2 to 3 recycled bottles, fixed securely, painted in bold yet elegant hues: coral, cobalt, butter yellow, and mint green. The arrangement is rhythmic and charming, drawing the eye gently along the curves of the garden. But these towers are more than decoration, they are alive. From their open tops grow tufts of basil and thyme, the scents catching on every breeze. Chrysanthemums bloom with enthusiasm, their fiery petals glowing against the colored plastic. Tiny drops of condensation cling to the inner walls, proof of the quiet work of hydroponics happening inside. They stand no higher than a child's knee, humble, yet captivating. At twilight, as garden lights begin to glow, the towers reflect the soft amber light, becoming glowing jewels in the fading sun. They define the garden space, but never dominate it. Instead, they blend beauty with purpose. Each border section feels crafted with care, the paint chosen to match the season, the plants selected for both resilience and bloom. Some towers hold edibles, others flowers, but all contribute to the garden's rhythm. They invite touch, curiosity, and compliments. Guests often ask, "Where did you get these?" The answer is always a smile: "I made them." This edging is more than a border. It is a celebration of rebirth, of creativity rooted in the everyday. It's proof that beauty doesn't have to be expensive, it can come from our trash, our time, and our willingness to try something new. In a world where lines often divide, this border connects plants to people, waste to wonder, garden to gardener. It says, here is where color grows, where trash becomes treasure, where edges become beginnings. Nestled against an old farmhouse-style fence, rows of wooden ledges cradle a collection of bottles, each one glowing with quiet beauty, each one humming with life. The rustic farmhouse bottle ledge garden doesn't ask for attention, but it earns it. It's the kind of charm that grows gently over time, like a warm cup of tea or the creak of a wooden chair. The fence, made from reclaimed wood, tells its own story. Cracks and knots remain untouched, honoring its age. Along its surface, hand-built ledges rise like a staircase of intention. And on each ledge, glass bottles stand proudly, some amber, some soft blue, others left clear, their painted surfaces distressed to perfection. Inside these bottles, roots swirl in clear water, and from their mouths spill the blooms of fall. Marigolds offer their golden fire. Asters peek out in purple delight. Japanese anemones flutter softly like butterflies at rest. Among them grow sprigs of herbs, thyme, sage, and rosemary, a fragrant reminder that beauty can feed both body and soul. This vertical garden is not tall or grand. But it is intimate, a love letter to simplicity. There's no need for perfection here. Some bottles tilt slightly. Some plants grow wilder than planned. But that's the magic. It's alive. It's real. The sun hits the bottles at just the right angle in the afternoon, making their colors glow like stained glass in a countryside chapel. Bees hover. Birds chirp from nearby branches. It's a space that asks you to pause, to breathe, to notice the quiet conversation between man-made and natural. It doesn't take much to create this feeling, just leftover wood, empty bottles, a bit of color, and a heart willing to try. In return, the reward is immense, a garden space elevated not by money, but by meaning. And in this rustic corner, under the soft rustle of fall leaves, the world feels stitched together by small, thoughtful acts, one shelf, one bottle, one bloom at a time. There is something ancient about bamboo, the way it stands tall, straight, whispering of distant forests and quiet strength. And yet, when paired with the everyday bottle, something delightfully modern unfolds. Along the narrow edge of a stone patio, a hybrid beauty emerges, the hydroponic bamboo bottle mix border, a dance of tradition and creativity. Here, bamboo poles rise in modest heights like gentle sentries. Between them, colorful plastic bottles nestle in cut slits, each bottle blooming with vibrant life. Some hold brilliant mums, others trail soft sedum. The contrast is unexpected but welcome, smooth, organic bamboo with bursts of color from polished plastic, blending past and present. The bottles are painted just enough, muted moss, sandy orange, lavender blue, colors drawn from the garden itself. Their roots swirl in clear water, clean and bright beneath the fall sun. Above, flowers bloom generously, untouched by soil yet full of vitality. This border doesn't only guide your eyes, it invites them to linger. And it works. It functions. It thrives. The bamboo provides stability and elegance. The bottles, once discarded, now pulse with new purpose. Together, they define the space, edging the patio like a brushstroke on a canvas, softening the transition from paved to planted. Even in the smallest garden, even where space is scarce, this design shines. It frames a flower bed. It defines a path. It turns a forgotten edge into a focal point. There's beauty in its repetition, bottle, bloom, bamboo, again and again, like a quiet chant in the language of gardens. And when the wind comes, it rustles the bamboo softly, carrying the scent of marigold and mint. At dusk, the bottles reflect the fading light like dewdrops suspended in time. It's not just a border. It's a bridge between waste and wonder, old and new, the earth and your imagination. In the gentle rhythm of its lines, the garden whispers, "This is how you grow joy from what you already have." Tucked into the quiet corner of a tiny yard, the ocean lives again, not in waves or salt spray, but in the soft blues of painted bottles, the curve of seashells, and the gentle rustle of flowers in the breeze. The upcycled seascape bottle garden isn't near the sea, but it carries its soul. A patch of sand spreads like a beach among the flower beds, carefully bordered by stone. In the sand, upcycled bottles, each a different shade of ocean blue, stand like glass lighthouses. Turquoise, aqua, deep cobalt, each one glistening under the sun, filled with clean water and curling roots. From these bottles bloom bursts of marigold, yellow like the sun's last kiss on water. Asters blush like the morning tide, while sedum nods softly in choral tones. The flowers seem to float above their clear glass vessels, like buoys in calm waters. Shells gathered from past wanderings lie between the bottles, spiral and smooth, bone white and pink. Driftwood curls like sea serpents. There's no chaos here. Just rhythm, like the ebb and flow of waves made from glass and growth. The effect is both grounding and freeing. A patio once barren now becomes a seashore sanctuary. You sit beside it with a cup of tea, tracing the curve of a conch shell, watching bees drift like boats among the flowers. At night, when small lights glimmer among the bottles, it becomes a tidal of light and shadow. And all of it, every part, was once discarded. Bottles tossed aside. Sand left over from a sandbox. Shells forgotten in drawers. Now reborn, retold. The garden becomes a memory, a dream, a song of transformation. This isn't just decor. It's a feeling. It's the echo of the sea carried inland. It's proof that nature and nurture can meet anywhere, even in a bottle, even in a backyard far from shore. On the edge of a small patio, where the sun paints soft gold across the brick, a wall begins to whisper of possibilities. It doesn't shout, it offers. Offers flavor, fragrance, beauty, and simplicity. This is the cheap DIY patio herb wall with bottles, a low-cost solution wrapped in charm and function. Mounted on a recycled wood panel, rows of plastic bottles bloom with purpose. Each one, once part of the discard pile, now wears a coat of paint, sage, clay, cream, lavender. They're no longer trash. They're a system, a statement. A little green revolution. Inside each bottle, hydroponic herbs grow freely, mint stretches lazily, rosemary stands with grace, parsley curls like lace. Water glimmers at the roots, and the scent of basil rises as your hand brushes near. Every step past the wall releases another layer of garden perfume. The wall is compact, vertical, perfect for tight patios, city balconies, or suburban corners. It takes nothing from the earth, no digging, no mess. Just light, a splash of water, and a little attention. Children come to pick a leaf for tea. Guests run fingers over thyme and ask for a cutting. The labels are hand-painted, dill, oregano, chives. It's not just beautiful. It's usable. It's alive with flavor. Around the base of the wall, fall flowers bloom, sedum in dusty pink, yellow marigolds bobbing in approval, anemones fluttering nearby. Together, they create a space that feels full, yet peaceful, a patio you'll never want to leave. And perhaps most magical of all, this wall costs almost nothing. The bottles are free. The wood was rescued. The herbs? Grown from cuttings or seeds. But the value it adds to your kitchen, your garden, your soul, is immeasurable. This wall doesn't just save space. It grows possibility. It teaches that the smallest wall can hold the biggest garden, and that the simplest ideas, when filled with intention, can blossom into something extraordinary. In the quiet sanctuary of a Japanese-inspired garden, where balance and breath are everything, a stream flows, but not with water. It flows with light, with green, with calm. Made entirely from repurposed bottles, the Japanese garden bottle stream bed winds gently through moss and stone, whispering its story with every leaf. The bottles are clear, pristine, laid down like smooth glass pebbles. Their arrangement follows the gentle curve of a dry riverbed, each one pointing toward the garden's heart. Inside them, hydroponic herbs and greens thrive, parsley's soft fronds, mint's cool promise, and the compact strength of oregano. Roots curl in clear water, suspended like calligraphy in a bottle. Surrounding them, moss hugs the ground like living velvet. Small stones, some gray, some warm brown, rest naturally, as if placed there by time. Chrysanthemums and asters bloom nearby, not to compete but to complete the scene. Every element has space. Nothing shouts. All flows. This stream does not babble. It reflects. In sunlight, it glows softly, casting glassy patterns onto the moss. In the evening, low garden lights glint off the bottles, turning them into glowing droplets of stillness. There's no pump, no sound, only movement through design, through breath, through growth. Each bottle was once forgotten, a container with no use. Now, it is part of a story. A stream of reuse. A design that blends the rustic with the refined. It is not just beautiful, it is contemplative. A meditation in plastic, stone, and green. Visitors pause beside it, unsure whether to touch or simply observe. Children kneel to follow the flow. Gardeners smile to see greens growing from such simple vessels. And you, the maker, sit in its presence, feeling both proud and peaceful. This is not just DIY. This is harmony, with nature, with space, with purpose. The bottle stream bed does not demand attention. It gives it. A silent river that teaches us all how to let things go, let things grow, and let beauty find its way. the sun begins to dip and the garden quiets to a hush, the gazebo becomes a beacon, not just of shelter, but of gentle, glowing wonder. Around its edges, bottles shimmer softly. They don't just hold light, they hold life. This is the Gazebo Glow Bottles, an evening garden enchantment, where hydroponics and lantern light become one. Each bottle is frosted by hand, like mist caught in glass. Painted in evening tones, pale gold, blush pink, ocean dusk, they sit proudly around the gazebo's base. From within, LED lights flicker like fireflies, illuminating the clear water inside. And in that water, life unfurls. Tiny roots twist like silver thread. Marigolds reach up toward the night. Sedum and asters bloom silently, glowing from within like dreams made visible. The light doesn't overpower, it hums, casting halos on the grass and soft shadows on the wood. The gazebo, once a simple retreat, now feels like a sacred space. A place for tea under the stars, for whispered talks and books read by soft glows. The glowing bottles form a circle, a rhythm, a quiet kind of magic that invites you in and calms you down. And it's all DIY. All from what was once waste. Plastic bottles, LED strips, a few tools, and intention. The kind of care that turns ordinary into unforgettable. Children marvel at the glowing flowers. Guests ask where to buy them, only to smile in surprise when told they were handmade. Even in the silence, they speak, these glowing bottle lanterns. They say, you can do this. You can make beauty. You can light up the dark. And when the night is deepest, when the stars blink and the wind is cool, the garden rests under the glow of those quiet bottles. Each one a reminder that even the discarded can become delightful. That even trash can light the way home.